In today's first reading from the book of Kings, we heard Elijah given up. As you know, he was in charge by God to be his messenger, his prophet. But he was highly criticized by the people around him. And he got to a point that he couldn't take it anymore. So he cries out to the Lord and he said, "This is enough, O Lord." And he goes to sleep. He was hungry, he was tired, he felt like nobody was listening to him, criticized, and that's why he kind of gave up. En la primera lectura que escuchamos hoy del libro de los Reyes, vemos el reclamo del profeta Elías que le dice a Dios que ya no puede más, ¿no? Basta, es suficiente. Estaba siendo criticado, estaba hablando de él, tenía hambre, estaba cansado y se da por vencido, ¿no? Y le dice a Dios, ya no puedo más. While he was asleep, God sent his angel to bring him food and to encourage him. And so he wakes up, he eats, and then the angel of the Lord said to him, "Get up and eat, else the journey will be too long for you." He got up, ate, and drank. Then, strengthened by that food, he walked 40 days and 40 nights to the mountain of God. So we can see this, the Lord providing with not only with the strength that comes from him, but also with food, so he could regain his strength and he can continue to move forward. The prophet Elijah have given up. He said, "This is it. I can't do this." But the Lord provides for him with care. Again, not only with the strength that comes from him, but with this food that will help him to recover his physical strength and continue moving forward. And he said, "Okay, now I already gave you food. Get up and keep doing the work that I have asked you to do." So el Señor no solamente le da la fuerza que viene de él, sino también la fuerza física a través de darle de comer. And we can see this same pattern from the Lord when his people, as we heard it last Sunday, when his people were hungry and he given the manna. We heard it last Sunday. They were hungry, they were tired, they start complaining, they start to talk about the Lord, and he provides for them. Again, not only the strength that comes from him, but also the physical strength, and he gave them the manna. And when the people of Israel saw this manna, they didn't know what it was. Actually the literal translation of manna is, "What is this?" Vemos el mismo patrón que vimos con el profeta Elías, que Dios le da la fuerza y le da el alimento para seguir adelante. Lo vimos el domingo pasado en las lecturas, cuando el Señor le da a su pueblo que estaban cansados, que tenían hambre, que estaban comenzando a criticar al Señor, les da el maná, ¿no? Y este maná les da la fuerza para poder seguir adelante. Por cierto que la palabra maná traducida literalmente quiere decir, ¿qué es esto? Because the people of Israel didn't know what this manna was. Remember, they woke up one day and this kind of a flour was coming down from heaven, right? And they didn't know what it was. And later they realized that it was for them to eat, to make bread and eat. So, but this manna, at the beginning, they didn't know. God provided for them, but they didn't know what it was. That's why they call it manna. What is this? So later in the gospel, we hear the Lord talking about this bread that comes down from heaven, that can give life eternal. Remember last couple of Sundays ago, I mentioned to you that for about 5 Sundays, we were going to be listening to the Gospel of John and the teaching about the Eucharist. Well, today the Lord, once more, it communicates to his apostles and his disciples, I am the living bread. Whoever eats this bread will have life eternal. So we can see once more the Lord is providing and talking in, if we're going to say in common terms, in food terms. I will give you that food that will give you the strength to keep moving forward. So in today's reading, we can see how these apply to our lives. The attitude of the prophet Elijah is, I cannot do this anymore. This is too much. And sometimes in life, we can identify ourselves with situations like this, right? Because of many situations, because problems in marriage, in the family, financial difficulties, infirmities, death, the burden of years. And sometimes we look up and said, this is enough. I cannot deal with all of this. This is just too much, right? And this is a very human way of responding, but we have to remember the words of the Lord to the prophet. Get up, eat, and continue moving forward. Algunas veces podemos nosotros identificarnos con esta situación del profeta Elías, ¿no? Que estaba cansado, que ya no podía más, que se dio por vencido. Cuando nos enfrentamos a la vida con sus dificultades, ¿no? Problemas en el matrimonio, en la familia, problemas económicos, enfermedad, nuestros mismos pecados, tentaciones, y a veces queremos darnos por vencidos y decir, no puedo más, esto es demasiado. Y esto es una manera muy humana de responder, ¿no? Ante las situaciones y circunstancias de la vida. Pero tenemos que escuchar también las palabras que el Señor le dijo al profeta Elías. Levántate, come y sigue adelante. Y por eso el Señor nos pone muy en claro hoy en el Evangelio que Él es el pan que da la vida eterna. Que el que come de este pan vivirá por siempre. And that's why the Lord in today's gospel reminds us about Him being the true bread that comes from heaven, that can give us life eternal. Just as the prophet had the opportunity to eat and regain his strength, we have the opportunity to approach the altar and receive the Eucharist, receive the body and blood of the Lord, to regain our strength, to get up, eat, and keep moving forward. That's why the Lord provided His own body and blood, this food from heaven, for us to regain our strength and keep moving forward. Por eso el Señor proveyó de este alimento de su cuerpo y de su sangre para que podamos levantarnos de las dificultades, de la adversidad, de los problemas, alimentarnos, comer y seguir adelante. That's why it's so important from time to time to think about this gift of the Eucharist. And these Sundays, we're going to be listening to the Gospel of John and the teaching about the Eucharist. It's a good opportunity for us to think. Just as the people of Israel, when they found the manna that day, and they said, what is this? That we think of the Eucharist and ask ourselves, what is this for me? We know that it's the Lord truly present in his body, blood, soul, and divinity. But what is this Eucharist for me? Do I truly believe that this is the bread that came down from heaven that can give me life eternal? Do I truly believe that the Lord left this sacrament of the Eucharist, his own body and blood, for me to regain the strength and keep moving forward? Tenemos la oportunidad de pensar en estos domingos que estaremos escuchando el Evangelio de San Juan con la catequesis sobre la Eucaristía para pensar y hacernos esta pregunta que el pueblo de Israel se hizo cuando despertaron esa mañana y vieron el maná, ¿no? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es para mí la Eucaristía? En verdad, creo que es ese pan bajado del cielo que me da la vida eterna, que me puede hacer volver a tener la fuerza para seguir adelante. Porque la Eucaristía es el mismo corazón de Jesús, que nos ayuda para poder enfrentar la vida, que nos ayuda para no perder la esperanza, para tener la confianza en el Señor. Y ustedes saben que ante las dificultades de la vida, si perdemos la esperanza o perdemos la confianza en Dios, podemos decir como el profeta Elías, ¿no? Ya basta, es suficiente, no puedo más. Pero tenemos ese alimento que es la Eucaristía que el Señor nos da para levantarnos, comer y seguir adelante. Y enfrentar las dificultades y los problemas de la vida y lo difícil que es la vida, pero con mucha esperanza y mucha confianza de que vamos a salir adelante. Eso es la Eucaristía para nosotros. That's the Eucharist for us. That food that the Lord gave us so we can regain our strength and keep moving forward with hope and trust. So let us ask the Lord in this liturgy to help us to understand or to realize what is the Eucharist for me. It is a mystery, so it will be difficult to 100% understand what is this body and blood of the Lord present in the Holy Eucharist and all that the Eucharistic miracle represents. But what is it for my life? It is important for us to stand before the Eucharist in awe and to question, what is this? What is this for my life? What is the meaning of this Eucharist that we come every Sunday to celebrate? What is the meaning of this Eucharist that is given to me as food for the journey? Let's take some time this week during the meditation to think about this and the opportunity that we have to keep moving forward with the strength that comes from the Eucharist, and to listen to these words of the Lord that were given to the prophet Elijah. Get up, eat, and keep moving forward. Amen.